Rocky Mountain High, Colorado, Rocky Mountain High. I've seen it rain fire in the sky. Friends around the campfire and everybody's high. Rocky Mountain High. Rocky Mountain High, Rocky Mountain High, Rocky Mountain High, Rocky Mountain High, Rocky Mountain High.
Oh, it's lovely to hear that one again. Rocky Mountain High from John Denver, the very first choice of my guest, Anne-Maria Spaziano. Yeah, good day to you, and welcome to the programme.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Now, why did you choose that?
John Denver, Rocky Mountain High. I could listen to it all the time. It just gives me complete memories of the fall, of the autumn time with the family, being in the big Dodge Brown van, going, it's literally going through the hills and hills and dales of the New England area, and just remembering that song it's always just giving me fond memories of just a nice youthful time, and the whole thing. I was born in a place called Lincoln, Rhode Island, which is just on the border of Providence. Like, the Jeffreys were across the street, and then my brother, Chris Jeffrey, grew up together, but we knew their family, and it was, you always had my aunt was around the corner. All the adults would sort of come together, drink tea, and talk politics in the kitchen at night, while the kids were all outside. We would, me and my brother, and my cousins, and the neighbors, we would go play kick the can and whatever else, so kind of games and stuff like that. So the mother would call outside, "Come on, it's going in, we're going home." I used to have a bike that actually looked like a Harley, which was funny. It was a very boy bike. Such a tomboy. But it was just really weird, because I was definitely the kid that sort of, I'd be riding like this. And I even remember the kids just going, "What is that?" With the tassels on my thing. And it was great living on the circle, because that would be like what you would do. You just ride around the circle all the time, Good afternoon, Annie's Burger Shack. Can I help you? Thursday afternoon. I can have a look for you. Okay, I think we are fully booked between 6:30 and 9:30, unfortunately. Yeah, the next available time would be 9:30, 9:45, unfortunately. But that would be, we are open till 11 o'clock for food. I came to England in 1991 first. Long story short, I ended up in Derby and Ashbourne for the first time in England ever. And it was a life-changing moment. It was the best thing I ever did. It was the first time I ever branched out independently on my own. And I lived above a butcher shop with 2 Australians, and an English girl, and then me. It was the early 90s, so Eric Cantona was always on. Cantona, I say, it was very typical, total, village life and stuff. It was awesome. It was unbelievable time of my life. I went back to the States, and I just looked around like, this is not where I belong. I belong back there. I really, really belong back there. So, I'm back in Ashbourne. One of the Australian girls were leaving to go back to Australia. One day, she said, before they were leaving, before we leave, we're going to go shopping in Nottingham. I'm like, Nottingham? Like, yeah, you'll probably get shot there, but, which I thought was kind of funny.
September 94. And I was hanging out in my local record store, Select a Disc, and this young girl, cute young girl, talking to one of my friends in there, asking what what's the nightlife like in Nottingham, where Rock City is and places like this. Obviously, I immediately barged my good friend out the way and said, "Don't worry, Ben, I'll take care of this. What's your name?" "Annie." "Oh, I'm Coop. Pleased to meet you. Let's go for a walk then." It was great. No, I'd spent a few hours with her. Then she had to go back to where she lived, and that was it. Obviously, she took down my telephone number. No contact or anything. It's typical. A couple of weeks later, I come into the cell, just with a couple of mates, and she's in here. And then we became friends and lovers and what have you, and things.
I ended up marrying Coop later on, which was funny. We went to the States and we drove around the whole country. We got married in Vegas in a drive-up wedding window. And that was really funny. It was very rarely rock and roll. I remember had a big pink feather boa that my friend gave me in Albuquerque, and then we drove back to Vegas, and it was hilarious. It was right at the time, it was the Little White Chapel, so it was before anybody really knew, and it said Slash got married here or something, and it was literally, a window that went shoosh like that, and the woman's like, takes the cassette player, presses play, and it's like, do, 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 do. Hello there. Hi, and welcome to the Little White Chapel, where you're going to get married, where all your dreams come true, and we're sitting in a pickup truck, right? And we're just all dressed up to the nines, and there's this woman, wanting to marry us, and, literally with a stick shift between us, and we're holding hands. And we just did it, and it was just, before, and I didn't even tell my parents until after. We're like, "Oh, hey, Ma, yeah, I'm coming home," and Dad, too. "By the way, we got married." "What?" "Yeah, we got married in a drive-up wedding window in Vegas." It's very rock and roll. You couldn't get any more rock and roll than that. I started making cookies from around the world, but it didn't work out. And so I just ended up taking my box, bringing it down to the Old Angel, and plopped it down onto the bar. And I said, "Right, girls, anything, just eat the rest of these cookies." And I was at this point where I had no idea what I was gonna do. And Nikki on the bar, she's like, "Well, Sean, what are you doing with the kitchen, And he was like, "Oh, nothing really, And I was like, "Well, I'll do it." And he was like, yeah, fine, take the kitchen, whatever, I'm looking around and, I had no idea what to do with my life. Again, I'm in another spot in my life, okay, here we are, Anne-Marie, what are we gonna do now? And I just stopped and I looked around and, I've been living here for a while and I'm looking at the bricks and I'm listening to the music in the background. And then I just thought, this place needs burgers. I barely could sleep. I could barely contain myself. And I'm like, I get to make my own menu. I'm going to do my menu. I'm going to make a menu now. And I started making this menu and I started making burgers. I'm like, that combination, that's a good one. That's cool. I'm going to put that in, The Elvis burger, that was hilarious because I made that. I was like, well, that'll be a joke burger, and literally had no idea what I was going to, I had no idea what I was going to do. And literally, I think it's just some of those things where I think in life, you just got to lift your feet and let things happen because you just don't know, if you have any expectations, then I think you might be limiting yourself. So I think it's something where, you just let it go. And then I'd say about 2 or 3 weeks in, there were a few people that started coming in, like, what is this weird girl, American chick sitting in the back of this thing, and there was a few business people that would kind of come in for lunches and bring their clients, and it got too busy. I was just really, really sort of, and then I saw Stu.
Well, I first met Annie about early 90s, I'd say, probably 93, at a pub called the Narrowboat on Canal Street. I got made redundant and I was having 3 months off. And then she phoned up and said, "Do you want to start doing this with me?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll give it a go." What year did we start? 2000 and... 8, wasn't it? 9? I can't remember. A long time, too long. Like brother and sister really, but argue a lot, but still get on. It's forgotten about afterwards.
It was the best thing that happened because I think he always had that passion as well, but he was sort of in that same crossroads as I was. And so it couldn't have happened at a better time for both of us. And, you know, we've been friends for so long, but actually, eventually where it turned into where me and him were just kind of doing it together, we just became so close. We became the best of friends. And then about a year and a half went by, people came and went, it started getting more and more popular and whatever. And then the one day I had off, the one Monday I had off, and it went poof. It was a fire happened, but we lost the kitchen. So then it was kind of, oh great, you know, what to do now. You know, everything was going so good and it just, you know. And so then that was it. Back in the same old spot again. Ho hum, what do we do now with life? And a few months went in, we tried a few things, tried a few places and stuff, and it didn't work. And then I got this phone call from a friend, Nick Chameleon, and he's got a gruffy voice, he's hilarious. He's like, Eddie, I got some mates. They just opened a pub over in the Navigation. You ever heard of it? I'm like, oh yeah, I know the Nav, yeah. Yep, 2 guys. Opening a pub down there. They're just looking for somebody in the kitchen and stuff like that. Just wondering if you want to check it out. Just check it out. I'm like, yeah, definitely want to check it out. Because here I am, I'm literally got nothing now. I'm sat around like kind of, looking for places, but nothing was working. Nothing was looking right. And then we had a few pints, and then next thing we knew, we're singing blues songs on their stage and do, and then sharing beers and woohoo to the new, and then straight back onto the thing again. And it was, I kind of grabbed Stu and I said, Stu, I think we got a kitchen. I think we're back in again. And that's what it was. It just back, you know, landed onto the new place, and then the Navigation started. It was such a nice little scene, and everybody got along together, and it was really cool. And it just got mad. There would be so many people coming in, and we'd be like, I'm really sorry, it's going to be about a 2-hour wait. And people would be like, yeah, that's fine, that's okay. And we're like, no, you can't wait we actually got up to 3 hours and said, you know, we can't, you know, it's going to be 3 hours. And we're like, yeah, that's fine, we'll just have some beers, it's no problem. I'm like, but surely you're hungry. You know, like, oh no, it's worth the wait. I'm like, no. You know, it's like, I'm flattered. I'm horrified, but I'm flattered too as well that you would, you know. That's the best part, is when you see people, like, I don't know, I'm a really big person, I'm family, and it really is bizarre. When I see people that have been sort of having burgers and beers with me from the beginning, it just has that total proud feeling, like, you know, you're there too, you know, you've been with me, if it wasn't for you, this is, you know, helping me out with this whole thing, it just wouldn't, none of this would be happening, you know. Well, with my mom doing the food and drink thing, but I can't wait because she's coming over, and it's going to be the first time she's going to actually see the place, and I'm so excited. And yeah, I have no idea how she's going to react. Well, how my mom and dad met was cool. My my mom was very, my father grew up in Pawtucket, which was on the other side, and he was a total ruffian French-Canadian kid. Sort of had that Elvis thing, white cigarette pack in his back, and, you know, it's so great. He was kind of the ruffian kid that played, he grew up poor, playing stickball, and, you know, inner city kid. But there was a bowling alley where you'd have so my mother was sort of kind of not prim and proper at all, you know, she was a tomboy kid, but she was also very, you know, they were attractive and stuff. And they always used to meet at the bowling alley, and that's how they kind of met up. But I mean, that was at a time where my mother would be hanging out with boys before the lights went out, you know, it was like 6 o'clock, you know, but she was tomboy, she was kind of more like that, but they met up. So it was definitely like the grease leader of the pack with the Sandy, which would have been my mom, you know, kind of kicking stones and stuff like that.
We're not divorcing. We're married in man now.
I was thinking that you might have spent more time together than anybody else you've had in your life, you know?
True, isn't it?
Yeah.
Takes a sort of air out. No, first time I ever met Annie's acquaintance was in the Old Angel, where I used to drink quite a lot. I've been with her for 5 years now, and yeah, I don't think 2 months has gone by when I've not had to design something for her, or plan something for her, or speak to her about something, or tell her she can't do something. Just generally just be bossy designer, which is the best way to be without have to be, really, because she can be a bit naughty. Luckily, upstairs was kind of quite not easy to do. It was really difficult because none of us had a clue what we were doing, and the kitchen had to be built and everything like that. But it was kind of a case of turning it from essentially a derelict bar into Annie's vision of 1930s America. Basically, Annie was in charge of sorting the kitchen out, because that's really her department, and I just helped do the decoration and the signage and the branding. Just a bit of paint, lots of hard work, lots of cleaning, lots of tidying, all the graphics and everything, buying the tables. We transformed it in about 4 or 5 months in the winter. It was just me and Annie. A lot of tradesmen coming in and out, but I'd come in, it was just me and Annie in a derelict building. The tavern, as it was, or is now, when it was a nightclub, actually turned into a dumping ground. So this was like the world's biggest skip for a while. So all the remnants from upstairs and all the paint and everything, when we had to clear upstairs for opening in January, all came down here. So then we had to clear all this before we could even start, and we had to gut this place. And basically, yeah, it took, I would say, 2 months just to get it into a standard where we can actually start building. It was a match made in heaven. No, Annie's lovely. She is a pain in the backside sometimes. I love her to pieces, and she's like the annoying older sister that I never had. We've spent a lot of time working together, a lot of time shouting at each other, a lot of times laughing together, and yeah, generally it works very well. It's teamwork, you know, we both like the same look, the style of things. She comes up with ideas. If I don't think they're going to work, then we modify them to how they will work, or how I want them to look. But yeah, she's given me free rein down here.
The best part is the nice feeling when people are smiling and they're having a really good time. That's what the main thing is, you know? Because when everybody smiles, that's what makes the staff smile. And then it just turns into this whole nice feel. It's got that's the best time, when it's got that good buzz, when you can hear people laughing around the room, and you know, and they hear the clinks of the glasses, and you know, just the bustling of the, you know, the waiting staff and the bar staff running around, and you know, that's the best part. That's what makes things good. So many people are like, oh, you know, you got a franchise, you got to branch out, you'll be a millionaire, all this other stuff, and I'm like, I don't have any desires for that. You know, if we do get another one, then that's great, you know, and who knows what the future's gonna hold. Maybe I have to, you know. I'm just letting this thing go, you know, like the total thing where I lift my feet and let it sort of ride, and that's what I'm just gonna do. I'm just gonna let it take me wherever it's gonna go, you know. And that's how basically how this whole thing has kind of come about, really. You just lift your feet and let it happen, and then see what goes next, because you never know what's around the corner.
So stick it from that side, on that side.
You want it
in, showing inside.
You better make it even! Wait!
I wouldn't put it there.
Where do you want it?
I was just saying.
Oh, no, that's lovely. Oh, look at that. Oh, is that even? I never want to rip anybody off, ever. I never, ever want to do that. And I think with a lot of businesses, there always is that sort of thing where you gotta have the idea of profitizing on somebody. And I've never been like that. I'd rather be inclusive. I'd rather have it where everybody can come in. And my downfall is I always could never understand why somebody couldn't be in the group for a reason that had no reason or no method or no rationale behind it. Like if I always used to hang out with boys, you know, because they were more fun to hang out with. And then if, for some reason, if I was sort of, right, you can't come, and I'd be like, well, because you're a girl, and it would be like, what, why? Like, where is your rationale of, just because I'm a girl, I can't come and hang out with you, you know? And, I don't know, I suppose, in a sense, I'm gonna get all... I suppose in a sense that the way I do my menu is that everybody should be able to be included. I don't know why. So it doesn't matter what you choose, like, or how you choose your lifestyle or anything like that. It should be that everybody should be able to sit and eat together. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. Maybe I hit a chord. So maybe that's what it is. That, I mean, it's only food. But I think food's really important. Food's what brings people together. And maybe that's why people like it, because it's more honest. I don't know. Whew, sorry.
Boss, Studio Desiree, Loki, Chili, Jack, Nick, Nathan, Reese, Steve, Dave, Cheyenne, Sandy, Amy, Natalie, most of all, Granddad.
I'm not going to make everybody happy. I know I'm not going to make everybody happy. I can't expect to make anybody happy, but I always try my hardest. Since I was a kid, I've always been like that. I've always wanted to. I'm definitely somebody who I like to please. And if you're going to be in a restaurant just to make money and not want to please, then that's not a restaurant. That's not a place to eat and have an experience. You want to have it where you're sharing your experience because it's a nice experience. There's a big difference between the two. I like the fact that I've got my friends involved. And it's just, most of all, it's the customers. It's the people that come in. Because I think with a place this big, which sometimes I go, whoa, this is too big for me. I really do think that sometimes. This is big. This is really big for me, Sometimes I've actually felt sometimes that maybe I should just, with so much going on, you're just kind of like, that's it. I'm just going to open my kitchen, just back to myself again. You do get those days. You do. You get those days where you go, oh my gosh, I'm just going to make a meal for friends, and that's all I'm going to do. It's almost like this place has made itself, or everybody that's in it has made it, and everybody that's come in has made it. So I can't stop now. I don't have a choice. I've got to keep going.
Oh yeah, in the corner.
Right in the corner, right in the corner.
You ready? 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Woo!
We're not dirty.
We are not shit.